Welcome back to Rise Up with Janeena Chan. And today's very, very special. As always, we have our stellar guests. And today is no different. We have over here a life coach. She is none other than Kimilu Leadership and Life Coach. Well, more about her before we say hi officially. So she got her certification at Bennett Stellar University. She's a licensed certified master neuro-linguistic hypnotherapy life coach, a Reiki master practitioner and certified NIA instructor, and has been creating and conducting private lessons and workshops to help guide individuals and companies in their journey to self-discovery, self-love, and self-healing for the past 10 years. She pursued further study in biodynamic breathwork at Urban Breath, New York, practiced meditation at the Art of Living Center, New York, took John Maxwell's Success Blueprint certification course in Singapore, and went to London and completed the NIA Technique White Belt Intensive Training course. She's also a published author of the book Master Dating, pun intended, Intentional Guidebook to Celebrate Life, which features exercises that can help you nurture more self-love. So here to help us discover more self-love and lead our best lives, we have Kimilu. Hi, welcome to the show. Welcome to Rise Up.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. And obviously, I am addicted to whatever this is that I am doing because it was like a mouthful. But basically, I really want to, teach people how to be the best versions of themselves.
That is amazing. And I'm all for that. I think you are doing us all a favor, right? You're kind of like our modern day superwoman in these trying times or in life, diba? I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, first of all, so again, let's go back to basics. So you are a life coach, first of all. And I love how, coaching and all that, it kind of brings me back to thinking of being an athlete. Well, hindi naman super athlete. Well, I was a gymnast, but I think everyone can relate to that point of view, being
Right.
into sports, right?
Yes.
So it kind of like, so how does that work in terms of coaching your life, the whole mentee mentor process? Usually we just think of coaching in the whole landscape of competitions or trainings, but we don't usually kind of relate that to life in itself. We kind of just go through the motion. So tell us more about how being a life coach is.
Yeah, you know what? When I was starting and 10 years ago, I was much, much younger, obviously. And whenever people would ask me what I did, and then I'll tell them, oh, I'm a life coach, then they'll give me this look. They're like, what's that? What does that mean? And then I start telling them, oh, you know what? I help people who are sad become happier. And then perhaps, if you're lost, then I guide you through it, etc. And then they give me another look from head to toe. And they'll say, but you're so young. Like, how can you coach people with that? And it's not about the age, it's really the skill of coaching, the techniques and the tools that we have. And then they won't stop. And they'll even ask, so where were you trained? How did you become one? So I said, oh, okay, I was trained at the Bennett Stellar University in San Diego, California, etc. And then they'll look at me again and say, what? Well, you were trained abroad and now you're coaching here. Does that mean that's culturally different? So maybe you won't be able to coach people here. So constantly, people like just trying to bring me down. But I was really determined to, prove them wrong that life coaching is needed. And I would usually tell them that wala pang ways nun eh. So sabi ko, para akong GPS. Kunyari, you take the wrong turn, then I'll tell you, wait lang, let's recalculate and recalibrate that. And maybe this is like a better option for you. So I'm like a human GPS, basically. That's how I describe my job.
Wow, life coaching. So, this is not particularly new to me. I've heard the term just because I love like self-help books too. And I'm that girl who scrolls on Pinterest and gets like the best quotes to help, live my best life. And I think it is becoming more and more acknowledged here in the Philippines more than anything.
Sure.
And I have been seeing a lot of your classes also in your posts. So congrats on that. And you even get like corporate projects, right?
Yes,
It's kind of like a way of life in a sense, right? If we do feng shui, right? In a way,
yeah,
this is kind of like tapping our best, tapping the best elements in ourselves, awakening our best selves, and basically unleashing our
right.
best life. So,
Yes.
with that said, what are the elements or what is the foundation of it? How do you
Yeah.
usually start a class? Is it usually one on one? So, for example, how does that work? Like,
There's
do you ask a person what are your insecurities? What are your wants in life? Is that it?
Right. Well, there's a lot of ways, really, and a lot of problems and challenges that we can tackle. But basically, I teach you how to have essential skills. And what are those essential skills? I don't know if you've heard of soft skills. And soft skills would mean like how to love your job, the people you're working with the your suppliers or your guests, and how to love yourself. Really, that is a skill, and not a lot of people actually. I mean, surprisingly, not a lot of people know how to really love themselves authentically. So these are things that I teach. But some people would come like, especially in the beginning, people would come for different things like a breakup, like a career dilemma, or they're just, they have everything, but they don't know how to be happy. So different kinds. But right now, I'm really focusing on leaders because I feel like if I want to like leave a legacy in this world or have an impact, I feel that if I coach leaders to authentically love themselves, be compassionate, be empathetic, and all that, then they will be able to lead more people into learning all of these skills as well.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that's my focus now. Yeah.
Awesome. So basically, people come to you kind of like seeking for direction, as you
Yeah.
mentioned. I
And
mean,
growth, I think
and
growth.
growth.
Yes.
Okay, and growth. So it's basically catered to that specific person. Whatever does it go like? Do you have like a week plan or like a month plan?
Yeah,
How does?
so there are some people who have come to me for one-on-one sessions, and I would say that would be my like specialty because from the very beginning, that's what I have been doing. So one-on-one sessions, and then I started having workshops and also corporate accounts. So I teach in companies as well,
Mhm.
and then I started collaborating with other people with other expertise. Like I have a collaboration with a makeup artist, and we teach people how to be confident with
Ah,
their looks and how to
nice.
enhance that. I even have a collaboration with a calligraphist, an artist, and we create like a postcard for ourselves and for the people that we really love. So just some of those things. I even had a collaboration with a wine master, and we had wine and emotions
Oh
workshop.
wow, sounds
Really
fun.
super
Okay.
fun, and
Okay.
obviously some got tipsy, so it was extra fun.
Okay, I love. So just goes to show how living your best self or leading your best life is related to the simple things too. And I think if
Yeah,
we were to kind of you mentioned like people come to you be it for breakups or like
yeah,
a big job change or like just being
right.
lost in general. I think
Mhm.
the end goal that a lot of people want to achieve is happiness and
For sure,
well-being. So maybe
right.
give us like a mini teaser or like a mini crash course. I think this is something we can all relate to. So for
Yes,
instance, I guess just how do we achieve that
yeah.
our
You
our,
know,
our best well-being and
yes.
just kind of like
Um,
stretch our self-growth to its most optimal stage.
For sure. Well, one thing that I really love talking about, and whenever somebody would send me a message, like I would get messages on Instagram and they would tell me, like, I'm really not feeling okay right now. Like, I feel like I am in despair. There's no hope anymore. And I personally take a deep breath. And then, you know what I do? I ask them, instead of making them pay right away, I ask them to do something first, which is I tell them to write down 100 things that they are grateful for. 100. And I tell them to reply back to me or send it to me via email. And then after they send it to me, I reply and say, okay, so how do you feel now? And then magically, they would say, oh, I feel much better. There's so many things to be grateful for pala, you know? And as you know, gratitude is a magnet for miracles, and it actually interrupts anxiety or worry. So when you're so worried or you're so anxious, and then you think of 100 things to be grateful for, it stops that cycle. Okay. And then you become very grateful for the life that you're living and for the little things, as you mentioned.
Wow. Okay. So gratitude definitely changes everything, like the whole how you see things, right? And
Yes.
so that is one of the key things that you kind of tap or remind people of. Be grateful
Yes.
always. But sometimes it's easier said than done for sure. And that's when they take a class, a full
Yes.
on class. And with
There.
those classes, mhm,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
maybe you can tell us more about how you kind of like how you teach people to live their best lives more of in terms of like how you talk to these leaders aside from
Mhm.
gratitude.
For sure. So, before the pandemic, I would have a lot of face to face clients and also like companies that I work with. But then, because everything is now online, then I am a full fledged online life coach, and everything is online. And now we have created this well being boost program, and that is a 4 week course. So it runs monthly actually, and I have a team of facilitators that I have trained, and they already teach about intention, setting an intention, which we actually talked about backstage earlier, right? When I set an
Yes.
intention, and then gratitude, and then compassion, more compassion, self compassion as well, and then also courage. So when they're done with the four week course, then they have courage now to live their best lives.
Nice. Okay, so would you say those
Yes.
are the four pillars kind of like your well-being boost program?
Yes, yes. That
So
those are
that's
the
again
programs.
intention, setting intentions, gratitude, compassion, and courage.
Courage.
Wow, and
Yes.
it's like a cycle if you think about it. Because
It
first
is.
up, I think if I were to kind of have my own reflection on that, just
Mhm.
from you saying these four pillars, it would be just we have to make a decision, right? Like what. Right? That's what intentions are about.
Yes.
Maybe later on you can give us like a little crash course on how we can make our best intentions and
For
then
sure.
gratefulness and then compassion because I think a
Compassion.
lot of people are hard on themselves, so hard on
Yeah.
themselves, and then I think
Mhm.
that's where all the problems come from. I think sometimes we're so in our own heads that we don't
Mhm.
realize that we have to be compassionate about our growth,
Right.
be
Yes.
patient because this whole culture makes everything so about instant gratification, everything comes easy
Yes.
kind of that we get
Right.
impatient. And
Mhm.
lastly, we have to be brave, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Be brave.
Take that
Also.
leap of faith.
Yes. Well, that leap of faith. Well, now I have a one-on-one program which I call the Quantum Leap, actually, and it's a 12 session program, and you take it in 3 months, and it's really for people who are very ready to just have this, drastic change and improvement in their life. And like for example, in terms of business, like if you want to earn more, then you can take that course. If you are in your like journey to healing, and if you would like to like really heal so much more, then that would be also the course for you. So I cater to different kinds of people, so entrepreneurs, doctors, producers, etc. Just all of them heart-centered leaders wanting to grow some more and take care of their well-beings. So that would be the people who usually come and are ready, because some people aren't. That's
Mhm.
the thing. So yes, yes to all of those. If you're listening and you're one, then just contact me.
Okay, awesome. I love that. Okay, so quantum leap.
Yes.
So that's like for like a kind of like a faster course, would you say?
Yes, it's like a fast track of your life. Like you'll feel like you're in a different plane
Oh,
when you get
really?
into that course. Like, oh my gosh, and everything seems to be a little bit faster. Because when we say quantum leap, it's like you're in a different dimension, basically. So there's no
Mhm.
sense of time in that. And I kind of stretch and push and do everything that I can to make it happen with you.
Okay, awesome. And let's talk about your book, Master Dating. I
Yes.
think that kind of it's just so playful how you entitled it. I love how you have a copy on hand right now if you're watching via YouTube or visually on Facebook. So,
Mhm.
congrats on that. So, how did you think of the whole concept and the theme? And tell us more about this and how can this improve our lives?
For sure. So, Master Dating, this is an intentional guidebook to celebrate your life. I'm all about celebrating your life. I know people would usually say, oh, live as if it were your last day. That is so daunting for me. Like, oh my gosh, I need to panic and, live as if it were my last. But if you just change your mindset about that and be in awe as if it were your first time to experience anything, like let's just say this is my first time guesting in any podcast, so I'm
Mhm.
celebrating it. Okay, and I'm
Mhm.
so happy to be here. And instead of, oh, you know what, like this is like my nth time already, so nah, this will be easy. But right now it's like because I'm celebrating it, so my entire body is just super excited, right? I
Mm.
want people to live life that way. And
Mhm.
so this book is a compilation of challenge exercises actually for people to do, and they came from my online community challenge, which I called Protons 29 days of February on a leap year. It
Mm.
first started that time, and then it became, I mean, the community loved it really well, so I did it for 5 more years. And then one of the challenges was to date themselves. And then I just thought about it like, oh, if you date alone, then you're like master dating.
Yeah.
And then, people really loved it and they would send me photos and they'll tell me, hey, Kimmy, I'm master dating right now. So it was like the most popular challenge. So I thought, oh, maybe it would be a good book title. And all of these challenges you can actually do by yourself or with others, but more for yourself so that you can hone that self love for yourself. So, yeah, that's how this happened, basically.
Nice. Maybe you
Yes,
can give us a little sample of
for sure.
activities we can find there.
Yeah,
And
you know
maybe
what?
for those who are listening, maybe they can, like, I don't know, do we need a pen and paper, perhaps?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Well, if you have the book or I give out the e-copies of the book. And if you're on Amazon Kindle, you can actually download it for free if you're a member.
Awesome.
So, Seek the Sunset is
Mm-hmm.
like challenge number 2. And
Okay.
it says over here, the sunset reminds me of the lessons I already know. Yet every time I watch the sun disappear, I find these lessons speak to me differently. It's like reading a book or watching a good movie for the second, third, or nth time. They deliver the message I need to hear at the exact moment of my life I need to hear it. And then the challenge is, so there's a box right here because I ask people to actually watch the sunset and draw it
Mm-hmm.
on this piece of on this page. So seeing the sunset is a great reminder of how awesome the planet we live in. It's medicine for the soul, making you feel like you're part of a big community, or make you feel big, like you can conquer the world. Do it alone, with your loved ones, with a colleague, or your crush. No matter who you're with, the few minutes it takes for the sun to move towards the horizon can give you an uplifting experience you can experience every single day. So that's like one of the challenges. And have you watched the sunset? Do you like sunset or sunrise?
I actually like both, but there's something for me magical about mornings. Not that I am essentially awake during like when the sun rises because
Yes.
I'd be sleeping in my bed. But whenever I feel like when I think I'm tired, but then the sunlight just appearing on my big window
Yes.
kind of just magically energizes me and the warmth
Right.
that I get. So I guess with sunsets, I think I'm more a sunrise person to be honest. Like, okay, sorry, sunset people, no, but I love sunsets too. I see the beauty and the magic with it. And I think the metaphor we can get out of that is that, every day is sacred and it ends.
Right.
There is an ending to each day and you got to make the most out of that day,
For
right?
sure, for sure, yes. Well, I love sunrise too because
Mm-hmm.
it's like a symbolism of a new day, like a
Yeah, of hope.
new chapter, a clean canvas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
you can absolutely like design your life or your day the way you want to.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah,
that's very exciting. I think most people get either overwhelmed or, right, overwhelmed, or they kind of, as you mentioned, they don't see the little things that they should celebrate anymore, and it can get pretty mundane. So maybe
right.
you can give us like quick tips as Kimilu Life Coach. What do you say? Maybe like not one-liners, but like a quick Q&A. What do you tell someone or your students who are number one, overwhelmed?
Oh, number one, well, number one thing that I will tell them to do is, hey, let's breathe. Take a deep breath. And then they'll breathe. And then, that sensation of your breath, just really being mindful of the air passing through your nose, your mouth, your throat, and then your lungs. It grounds you right away. And the thing is, it's for free. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just going to take a deep breath. And this is why like meditation is becoming more and more popular because more and more people are realizing like, oh, I just need to take a breath. Like literally, just take a breath. When you're overwhelmed, take a breath.
Okay. How about number two? For those who are so stressed and so tired and kind of just are in a bad mood, slash, they're feeling like they're in a rut.
Right. I just learned recently actually that the opposite of kindness, of stress is actually kindness.
Mm.
So when you're stressed, that means you're actually not being kind to yourself because all of the parts of your body are being like tense and it is tight. And when you are kind to yourself, you'll relax and again take a breath, right? And when you are not stressed anymore, then peace comes in, calmness comes in, and all that. So I would love everybody who is stressed right now, think about being kind to yourself. How can I be kind to myself today? Oh, maybe I'll take a break. Maybe I'll say no to that thing that I said I was going to say yes to that actually stresses me out. Just setting clearer boundaries. So I think that's super important, and people have yet to really learn how to do that.
Nice, awesome. Okay, so lastly, maybe for now, unless I think of like a little sing it portion for another like Q&A. How about for people who find that things are just so boring and like they need inspiration? Because we're
Right.
all in this together. We're in a pandemic, and honestly, nakakaumay na talaga siya. Slash,
Hmm.
it feels uncertain. So, what do you tell people who are feeling the uncertainty, who are lacking motivation and inspiration to live their best days?
I have one word for that, which might be a little bit challenging because nga, parang we're all here in this same time and space, but we're gonna need to try. I think that's my word, try. And I know, like, especially last year, there were a lot of people who were just literally in bed, like for 6 months, because they're like, nah,
What for, right?
what for? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna need to try. And a lot of people have been telling us about, learning a new skill or maybe, cooking something new, maybe exercising. And how do we get to that point? We're gonna need to try. I think that's my
Mm-hmm.
word. Like try. We'll try lang one time. Maybe it's one thing at a time. It doesn't have to be like a full course. It could be like one meditation episode. just try it out. Maybe you like it, maybe you won't, and then maybe try fixing up yourself, even if you're just at home. Maybe try to shower.
Yeah. For
Try
those listening na hindi pa nakaligo for how many days? Okay.
but try. I think that would be what I would tell everyone who's not in the mood. Yeah.
Yes. Nice. Try. That is so powerful. And I love what you said about like just putting on makeup, the Kikai girl in me. Sometimes I really don't feel like it. It's either full glam or not. And sometimes it takes so long mag full glam. Pero sometimes just put on like lipstick even if you're at home. It's so powerful. Just curl your lashes. But you already feel good.
Super.
You already are in a good mood, right?
Yes. I mean,
Nice.
a lot of us are on Zoom meetings, right?
Mhm.
And I noticed that when someone is actually wearing lipstick, they're already glowing even through the screen. Like I really
Yeah.
notice people, because I have several groups and classes, and whenever someone's like fixed up, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're so fixed up! Like you look
Yeah.
so pretty. You're so
Good for
glowing and
you.
glowing." Good for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
good for you, diba? At least they're doing it for themselves also,
Yes.
diba? A reason to fix up too. And
Yeah.
coming off that whole like trying and the power of trying, sometimes because we're so fixated in having these beautiful, perfect goals that sometimes trying is like, why bother, right?
Yeah,
So on that note, for those who are finding it hard, as you mentioned, setting intentions. And I believe you're also, this is similar to affirmations, right? Or are they different? Tell us more about setting intentions and
sure.
affirmations and how we can do them correctly.
Right. Okay, so people sometimes mistake intentions as goals. They're like, oh, is that a goal? No, it's actually, so intention would be the fuel for you to achieve your goal. So, for example, oh, I want a successful business. And then it would be somehow like your why. Like, why do you want it? Oh, because I will feel peaceful. I will feel like secure. Okay, so would that be your intention? You'd like to feel secure? Ah, yeah, I would like to feel secure. So I will do everything in my power to have a successful business because I want to feel secure. So it's important to know your intention for your goal because some people just like go for their goals and they don't have an intention for it. It's not clear. So with you setting out an intention with a goal as well, it just becomes much, much more powerful. And the affirmations help as well. It's another tool that can help you achieve it. So if you say, okay, I am secure, you can say, I am secure. Along with your intention, I am like productive. So that's an affirmation in becoming successful and also in being secure. I am like creative. Maybe you need creativity in your business as well. So these are affirmations that will help you achieve that goal with your set intention.
And why are affirmations so powerful though? I mean, sometimes people can just be like, okay, sometimes they really, right? People like don't really think, some people might think it's just fluff or parang it's said too much. Parang we keep hearing that term tossed around a lot of times, but why is it so powerful?
It's so powerful because actually our brains are so powerful. Our brain listens to everything that we say.
Wow.
So, for example, Janeena, I'm going to tell you, okay, why don't you, maybe you can think of green mangoes right now. And with your favorite sausawan, bagoong, or what's your favorite? Is it ano?
Yeah, bagoong. You're making me crave.
Okay, yeah. And then is it the sweet and spicy kind or the sweet kind with it's garlicky?
Salty and spicy.
Okay, salty and spicy. Just imagine yourself grabbing a piece of green mango and then smelling it first. And then I want you to open your mouth and then taste it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So,
guys, are you doing the mango thing with me?
Right. Yes. So, what is happening to your body right now?
I'm actually salivating. I can feel it like my jaws, right?
Yeah.
Diba yung parang tumitigas
Nangingilo.
nangingilo.
Nangingilo, yes. But
Wow.
there's no green mango and
Yeah.
there's no spicy and salty bagoong. But
Mm.
because of the mere thought of it and you said it, you imagined it, then your body reacted to it right away.
Wow.
So just the same when you say, I am productive, I am creative, I am like successful, I am beautiful, I am
Mm-hmm.
amazing, your body reacts to those thoughts, to those
Wow.
words.
Amazing.
So that's how I like quote unquote prove to people like, it, yun pala yung effect ng words. So when you imagine, when you say, oh, tinatamad ako, your entire body listens to that. And then you'll feel, oh my gosh, why is my body so heavy today?
Yes, actually, sometimes we make excuses, and
Uh-huh.
then the body follows with that.
Right.
So let's be more conscious now and cautious of how we use our words because there is so much power to them. And
So,
sometimes, though, I think that's why also podcasts are becoming such a huge platform.
mm,
Not only that because people are bored, also because people want to learn, and because there is so much power with words. So I love
yes.
what you said about that and the whole exercise. You really got me thinking of green mangoes. So
Yes.
I really love that. But just applying it into the context of being here locally in the Philippines, a lot of people parang may hiya factor or they feel the whole sense of worthiness na parang
Right.
kaya ko ba talaga? And sometimes madali yung affirmations or it's easy when it's not really an affirmation but more like a compliment or like a like motivating words
Right.
or from a cheerleader coming from the
Yes.
outside spoken to you like kaya mo yan, you can do it.
Uh-oh.
Pero if it's us na saying it to ourselves, parang sometimes diba? So
Yes.
how do you counter that? The whole worthiness, unworthiness, and the whole
Right.
hiya factor. Diba a
Uh-huh.
lot of us marami talaga na
Yes.
parang para sa kanila lang yun, hindi ako pwede
Oo.
ganon. Parang
Yeah.
talaga lang, ikaw na. Yung ganong whole mentality, ikaw
Oo.
na.
Oo.
Or parang
Sana
ang
all.
yabang ba nun? Diba yung mga ganong sana all? Or yung
Oo.
mga 'di ba? Yung parang napaka-ano naman yan, 'di ba? Very diva mentality. Pero no, 'di ba? Because that's self-love and
Yes.
that's how you grow. So how do
Right.
you counter that thought process?
You know what? It's actually, yes, it is very challenging. And it was so apparent when I was just beginning with my coaching business because like 50% of the people who are coming to me at that time were foreigners. I mean,
Mm-mm.
obviously, because Filipinos are like, hindi, magiinuman lang tayo, okay na
Oh
yan.
my gosh.
Lalabas lang tayo, okay na yan.
Oo.
Ganyan. Or kakausapin ko lang yung friends ko, okay na, ganyan.
Or they're in that hugot parang na-drown na sila sa hugot mentality.
Yeah.
Kanta na lang ng love songs. na
And
hugot.
we are so known to being resilient. So
Mm-hmm.
parang, oh my gosh, I don't need anybody to help me. I can do this. Kaya ko to. And then also, right now what I'm thinking is it's also very cultural and also religion based, all of these things. I'm not sure how to handle that, but there is this thing that we called in coaching. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's really like unblocking limiting beliefs. So you're gonna need to unblock the limiting beliefs. So that's a limiting belief. Like, hindi ako pwede kasi sila, ayan, mas mayaman, kaya niya yan, yung ganon. So that's a limiting belief, right? And that is actually learned. Somebody taught you. Okay, maybe when you were younger, maybe it was even the teleserye that you were watching. 'Di ba? Ay naaapi yung poor, kaya I feel like I'm poor, so maaapi na lang ako, magpapaapi na lang ako, ganyan. Or it could be your yaya telling you, ay, yung police, kakainin ka ng police. Yung ganyan. Instead of us trusting, di ba police is supposed to help us, right, and protect us. But because Yaya said, kakainin ka ng police, now we're so scared that we don't want to report anything. Okay, so these limiting beliefs or these fears are all learned as a child, and we get into a process which we call actually, what do we call that again? Like just reversing and then healing all of the timeline regression. and then we
Mm.
regress to until prenatal age, and then we heal all of those times where you learned all of these fears, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
move forward when you figure out like, it was my yaya, it was my ano brother pala who said that. And then when we heal those parts of you, all of a sudden you get to move forward better and
Yes.
quickly. So yes, so that's how I guess how I counter these limiting beliefs of my clients and participants.
Galing. Yes, I love it. No, but talaga when you put it in a local context, because
Yes.
we are so used to, nga, as you mentioned, just taking it all in and being resilient. And
Right.
sometimes we don't even dream big. We forget to dream big. We forget to want the best things for us because we feel like we don't deserve it. But
Right. Yeah.
in actuality, everyone can be amazing. There are so many
Sure.
success stories out there that come from zero to hero,
Yeah.
just like Hercules, diba? I
Sure.
mean, even like
Yes.
Manny Pacquiao, diba? There are so many amazing Filipino figures that
Yeah.
have gone from zero to way up. And yeah,
Yes.
this is exactly why this is what the podcast is for, to magnify these stories also, and for us all to rise up together. So I love that, definitely.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
kind of like, when you're in school, like, I don't know, just to relate to that, but back in high school, yeah, I was always like a go-getter. I always
Mhm.
wanted good grades. Tapos parang for
Yeah.
me, honor roll, kailangan talaga. Pero nung college, parang hindi ko nainisip kasi feeling ko, parang di naman, or parang ano mo yun pala,
Yeah.
kaya rin. There are para-paraan lang. Pero I kind of set my intention too late.
Right.
I could have been like honors talaga. Alam mo
It's
ba,
a
point
faster.
ilan na lang. I could have
Mhm.
graduated with talagang honors. Pero not
Yeah.
bad na rin. At least Dean's List. Pero yung ganon, yung mga tipong, wow,
Yeah.
sayang. If
Right.
only I believed in myself earlier on. Ang daming possibilities. It's just
Right.
like kind of like an example. So guys, if you're listening, that's parang you're doubting yourself,
Yeah.
try lang. A lot of the
Right.
like,
Yeah.
diba? Like for example, yung
Yes.
TikTokers ngayon, celebrities na, diba?
Oh,
Dahil lang
yeah.
nag-try sila. Ang dami,
Super.
diba? The whole virality thing. It's fun and they're trying. And don't forget to have fun while trying. I think
Super.
that's the
That
most
is the
important.
yeah, super good ingredient for success would be just having fun doing it, really.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you know what? Like right now, if also you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm hearing this now lang. Why am I just hearing it now? So don't worry, guys. I always say you are at the right place at the right time with the right people and listening to the right podcast right at this moment. Because now we're
Yes.
telling that this is the right time because you're hearing it. There's no accident. It is not a coincidence that you are listening to this right now. So maybe now is the time. Before, when you were younger, it wasn't the right time yet, but now, eto na. Try na. Go.
Mm-hmm. This is the voice you've been waiting for. From actually Kimilu Life Coach. Awesome. Okay, so just I guess to kind of wrap things up,
Mhm.
for the whole duration of this podcast episode, it's like
Right.
you as a coach, but I want to hear it from your point of view as a student, and kind of
Yes.
like how that aha moment wherein you felt like you learned so much, or maybe if there's one lesson from all of your training, maybe one
Mhm.
or two, whatever you feel like sharing, that
Yeah.
just really stuck with you, that made you want to pursue this as a career, what would that be?
I'm not. I don't know a particular moment, but I remember when I was doing my classes in San Diego, I said, "Oh my gosh, there's really nobody in the Philippines doing this. I'm really going to do this." And so I did. And then last year was like a huge turning point because so many people were coming, and I said, obviously I can't do this alone anymore. So I created a certification program. So I actually now am teaching people how to do what I do. And then there's 24 of them already. And they are sparking, joy in people's lives. They're creating aha moments for their own clients and companies, etc. And people would also always ask me like, so who helps you? So I'm going to tell you a secret that is not such a secret. I am enrolled in four things right now, myself as a student. Even if I'm coaching and I'm teaching people, certifying people, I have my own life coach. I've had her for like almost 4 years now. And I talk to her every single week, as in.
Mhm.
And then I
How long
have
for a week? Like an hour session?
an hour, just an hour a
Hmm.
week, just
Like
to
a
like
date?
check up on me.
Oh, cute.
Check up on me. Like sometimes I would get into a wave of like comparing myself to others. So I would tell her about it and we, work on that one. Sometimes I'm stuck with something, then she helps me. And then I needed to hire an online business coach, especially for coaches, because I had to transition and pivot online coaching right away. Right. So I said, this is not my specialty. My specialty would be in person events. So I'm not right now, I don't know how to attract people online. So I needed help with that. So I hired an online business coach. And then I'm taking care of my body right now. I'm being intentional. So I hired a fitness coach, and we have sessions via Zoom. Because if I don't have any
Wow.
coach, I will just cheat. I will just do this instead of this.
Accountability. Yeah.
Yeah, super.
Okay.
Yeah. And then now I'm also enrolled in a Sister Stories group. So there's eight of us in the group and we just share our stories. This is every 2 weeks. So,
Mm.
I need all of the support that I need in order for me to be able to serve more people.
Yeah.
So that would be my lesson. Like I didn't know that in the earlier years. And so that changed my life.
Mm. Okay. So
Yes.
that's something that you kind of, would you say that's kind of like your rise up story too? Or meron ka pa bang mas hugot pa? Probably, actually, I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
there like,
Well,
what
that's
made
a
you like,
rise up story for
yeah.
sure. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I would really consider 2020. I know it was really tough for everybody, but I continued to rise in 2020. My numbers were over the roof. I would usually just get like 2 to 3 new clients a month. But in 2020, I had hundreds per month. We served 700
Wow.
plus people last year. So for me, that's like really rising up. And I would say like being the lighthouse, like the light
Mm.
that everybody would like try to look for,
Mm-hmm.
and so that I could shine the light on them as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened. 2020 is like a rise up year for me. And still now, still happening. I think it's an ongoing thing,
Mm-hmm.
really. Yeah.
So I love what you said also about having all these courses to help you grow too as a
Yeah.
person, because you are a life coach, and being a teacher and a mentor, you need your cup to be filled all the time so you can give more to people, right? So it's constant learning and constant growth. And it just goes to show that it's really a never ending life lesson. It's a never ending course for life. And we just
Yes.
have to keep learning it, keep graduating from it, and then take on the next course, whether
Yes.
it be about self doubt, whether it be about stress, whether it be about unlocking your most grateful life or being your most creative self, right? There are so many life courses to take,
Super duper.
right?
Yes. I
So,
agree.
yeah, thank you so much for that. And maybe any other parting words, parting words before we,
Maybe of
to
course.
officially say goodbye to those listening in general, maybe as an Achi voice to
Yes.
everyone
Well,
listening.
I don't know if this is an Achi line, but I would always say that life is a party. Celebrate it. So celebrate every little thing, every waking moment, every breath that you take, that cup of water that you're about to drink, celebrate that conversation, maybe with your friend or your loved one, celebrate it. And just really live life to the fullest and don't be afraid to try.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Actually,
you.
Kimilu Life Coach.
Yeah.
So we'll leave your details down below too in case they want to learn more from you. And thank you so much for sharing your time with all of us. definitely unlocked a lot of aha moments in this conversation too. Guys, stop limiting yourselves, okay?
Yes,
And I
yes.
guess that is it. Thank you so much. We hope to see you in the next Achi Kimilu. Maybe next time we can have a follow-up episode if something comes up, right? Okay, so thank you once again to everyone listening. If you are listening via Spotify, please do share the love, share this in your stories, tag your friends and family so they too can learn more about how they can lead their best lives. If you are listening via Apple Podcasts, don't forget to give us a great review as well. And we will see you in the next. Bye, everyone.